South Korea's military could shake up the world. But that's exactly what happened when the shocking news came to the surface. Jungkook, a BTS member who is also currently serving his military service, reportedly received a stern reprimand from a senior commander for just one seemingly simple thing: being late for the morning call. However, is it really that simple? Or is this the culmination of a long-simmering hidden conflict within the South Korean military? A cold, disciplined, barely breathing system for a world superstar who suddenly has to go through life in a barracks like an ordinary citizen. That morning, the sky was slightly overcast, and a light fog enveloped the military headquarters where Jungkook was stationed. The time was still 6:27, 3 minutes before the start of the apples. However, while most of the members had already lined up neatly, a single name had yet to be seen among them. Silence. A sergeant was beginning to show signs of impatience. 3 minutes later, there was a rush of footsteps at the other end of the pitch. All spontaneous heads turned. And there he was, Jungkook, in full uniform but face showing tremendous fatigue. He's out of breath. His eyes are a little puffy, not for crying, but for crying. Or because of something heavier than just a long night. The commander who led the apple at that time was known to be firm and did not hesitate to be harsh. In an instant, his loud voice echoed throughout the field. Jungkook, do you think this is your concert stage? You're 3 minutes late, and that's enough to take down a squad on a real mission. All fell silent. Jungkook bowed, gave a quick military salute, then stood up straight. But from the light of his eyes, it was clear that there was an inner struggle that not everyone was able to read. The commander continued, his voice growing louder. I don't care who you are out there. You're not a star here. Here, you soldier. And that's when something happened. One of the platoon mates, who did not want to be named, claimed to hear Jungkook's voice muttering softly, barely audible, but enough to give him goosebumps. I know I'm nobody here, but I can't even sleep all night. Is it just a matter of late apples? Or is there something much bigger that has been hidden all this time? An internal military source said that the night before the incident, Jungkook could not sleep because he was assigned to monitor communication devices as a form of emergency exercise. But something's off. His picket schedule was supposed to finish at 3:00 in the morning, but he was only able to return to the barracks at 5:00. That is, only an hour remains before the apples. Why didn't anyone replace him on schedule? Was Jungkook deliberately framed for failure? This speculation fueled a heated debate among netizens and the army. How can a system that says it's fair treat Jungkook like this? But he is also an ordinary human being. Why should he be naked in front of his friends? Wrote a user on the K Military League's forum. More surprisingly, it was rumored that the reprimand was not merely a delay, but a form of example used by the commander to show the entire platoon that no one deserves special treatment, not even Jungkook. But why should Jungkook be the symbol? Is it because he shines too much that it is considered dangerous for a system that prioritizes uniformity? If the conjecture is true, then we are witnessing the tragic narrative of a man who throughout his life has been a symbol of freedom, creativity, and courage, now deprived of his dignity just because he arrived 3 minutes late. However, this drama does not stop at the Apple field. After the incident, Jungkook reportedly underwent an internal counseling session. No one knows for sure what was discussed in the room, but there were rumors that the commander had made a controversial sentence. If you can't live as a soldier, you better get out of this military as a loser. The sentence, if correctly pronounced, is not only cruel, but also violates the basic principle of respect for fellow soldiers. Even in the harsh military environment, morale and mental health remain part of the code of conduct. But is that ethic still alive when someone brings the name Jungkook into a dark green uniform? The public reaction was very harsh. Petitions began to appear on Korean websites, demanding clarification from the military and protection of the celebrity soldier. Many felt that this was not just an incident, but a systematic treatment of those who could not escape their public identity, despite trying to unite in the same barracks. Meanwhile, Army International intervened. On Twitter, the hashtag #ProtectJungkook became a trending topic in more than 40 countries in just a few hours. Even some international media such as The Guardian and CNN began to look at this issue, highlighting how the South Korean conscription system often causes tremendous mental stress, especially for public figures. However, behind all this commotion, there is an even more painful question. What is Jungkook really feeling? A former military man who once shared a barracks with other celebrities said that the greatest pressure came not from outside, but from within. They know they are being watched. Their every move is interpreted. They can never really rest. Even during sleep, they are watched, and it makes them disintegrate slowly. Is Jungkook experiencing the same thing? A source close to the family admitted that the mother cried when she found out that her son was severely reprimanded only for a small delay, which actually had a good reason. He hasn't even been late for BTS rehearsals for 10 years. But now, he was insulted for just 3 minutes. Ironic, isn't it? And among all these wounds, a hidden clue emerges that makes everything taste even more bitter. In an unofficial photo leaked to the public a few days after the incident, Jungkook is seen sitting on the steps of the barracks, holding a small notebook. Zoomed in, a handwritten note reads, "Freedom I can never fully find, even among the sounds of cannons." A sentence that shakes the heart, contains the deep meaning that perhaps Jungkook is not just a soldier. It is a symbol of the struggle between identity and system, between freedom and absolute submission, between man and the disciplined machine that engulfs emotion. Will this be the beginning of a mental breakdown for the idol? Or will it open a national discussion about the treatment of celebrity soldiers in South Korea? And the biggest question of all, why is it only now that we realize that even someone as powerful as Jungkook can falter? Just because of 3 minutes? Not just because a world superstar was publicly punished in a military barracks, but because something deeper had just been torn from within him. And just when the world thought this drama was about to die down, a voice recording leaked to the public and shook things up deeper than anyone had ever imagined. The 1-minute 27-second recording was not released by official media. It spread wildly on closed messaging platforms and forums of the South Korean military community. What's in it? The voice of the commander who rebuked Jungkook again, this time not only about the delay, but touched the most personal thing, his integrity and career. You can only sing and dance, but here we are risking our lives. Don't ever compare the glitter of your stage to the blood we shed for the sake of this country, the loud, piercing voice said, followed by Jungkook's low voice replying with bated breath. I never compare. But I also didn't come here to be stepped on because I was known. The reaction from the public was immediate. Is this systematic harassment of public figures? Is this a form of irony from a country that makes BTS the face of Korean diplomacy, but tramples them domestically? Those questions flooded the internet like an unstoppable tsunami.